Hi everyone, this is Louise here on the Gold Coast, and today we're having a live chat with Mickie, MOONROSE Mickie from the Gold Coast, who has a very interesting life. I'm just going to let her explain it to you because there's no way I can explain it all to you. Hi Mickie, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm awesome, thanks. Beautiful day today. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your things
My
that you
life,
do.
who
Yes, there's
who
some
I am,
amazing
what I
things.
do. I
Yes.
love that. I love that you're like, oh, yeah, very interesting life. I'm like, you know what? I do have an interesting life. And
Mm.
so, yeah, I am a Tantric Shamanic Priestess here on the Gold Coast. I have a studio space in Mermaid called Temple Vibes. And yeah, basically, I work within the realms of embodiment, which includes, sound healing, ecstatic dance, breath work, all of the juicy, kind of practices there are to get us into the body. And then also I work with Tantra, so working within sacred sexuality, both in the light side of it and the dark side of it, like conscious kink and stuff. I'm pretty much the spectrum of everything light and dark when it comes to these realms. And yeah, basically all comes down to energy. So it's an interesting
Mm.
life for sure.
So what made you get into it? What did you get into first? And then it ball rolled, I suppose. A little bit here, a little bit
Yeah,
there.
I mean, it's more like what did I surrender to? It's that,
Mm.
like when it's our soul's journey, it's going to happen inevitably. It's just, but it is a funny story because I've always been on the spiritual side, in the sense of, like, by the time I was 15, I did my Reiki master. I'd been learning energy healing. I'd always been in those realms kind of thing, but was never um, taking my healer side seriously. I was always into like magic and being a little witchy, as you may tell. But I really got into it actually when I was at uni. I was doing a double major degree in public relations and journalism, and I needed to get a little side job while I was doing like energy healing here and there. And I ended up actually in a adult shop. I ended up working in a sex shop, and it was one of those moments in my life where, I thought I knew sex, and I thought I knew my body. I thought I knew men's bodies. And then I remember, like, the first night I worked in there, I didn't know what half of that shit did. And I was like, oh my God, I really actually don't know my body and if I don't know, and I thought I had the whole pleasure thing and understanding these things, down packed, then, I could only imagine what other people don't know. And it really took me on a journey, really unintentionally, actually, really took me on
Mm.
a journey of de-armoring my body, getting to know my body. And then that obviously led me into Tantra, which led me into the paths of yoga and deeper into shamanism. And yeah, just
Mm.
just rolled.
Mm. Oh, it's fascinating. I really love what you do, and I would love to get more involved in that as well. So, what would be if you had one favorite thing? Can you pick anything that you do that's a favorite thing?
It's funny because I was thinking about this today, about how I love what I do because every thing is so unique. Like with each person, it's such an interaction that is unique to itself. There's no one kind of way of doing things for me. And I really love that. But if I do, there's one thing that I end up doing in everything I do, and that really is the sound healing with the sound bowl.
Mm.
Even in my one-on-one sessions, even in the Tantra stuff, I always end up ending with the sound bowl, because not only is it super powerful, but it really is my place of, yeah, it's a deeper activation within myself when I actually just go into toning and go into that place, allowing the energy to move through. And I really find a lot of joy in that. It like unlocks everything.
Yeah, and I just love the sound of the healing bowls, and does just
Mhm.
goes right in here, doesn't it? Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in your heading or your little bio about the shamanic priestess or tantric shamanic priestess, can you elaborate a little bit more on what that? I know you probably already mentioned it in the whole gamut of things, but there's certain points of that you'd like to express to those of us out here listening, that is something that we could explore, or that we will help us in our own lives, our daily lives. How does it help us? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, that's a great question. And you know, like these two words, tantra and shamanism, how they come together, and what exactly that is, you know, because it's really how I've weaved these elements together. And I'm actually in the midst of an online program right now with a group of people where we're going into tantric shamanic embodiment. And this is really about understanding how these elements of these aspects really do actually affect all of us and our life, right? So the tantric element of understanding masculine and feminine energy, and actually how this plays out in our own being. And we can go beyond masculine and feminine. We can call it yin and yang, fire and water, but really to actually understand the tantric path of how these energies are within your own being to create that sacred union within self first. It's really beyond just sexuality. And when we have this internal compass of actually understanding these aspects of ourselves, we start to actually see how we're playing with the world and what we're attracting, and where that polarity is actually coming from understanding where we sit within the scale of actually understanding these two energy points that actually sit within the body. So that would be the biggest thing that the biggest point that I love to make to people around this work is around the embodiment piece of understanding your masculine and feminine energy, because it exists within all of us, to understand these qualities of each, including their energetics, their sexual expression, you know, how they move through you and the world is huge. And like a really big piece of that, like we're in the week now where we're going into the divine masculine energy within us, with this beautiful group, mainly of women, and discovering these imprints of what we've thought masculine energy is, based on like really like pulling out, you know, based on our first impressions of masculine energy, that may be our father or the, you know, the authority figures in our life. And we get to kind of like unravel and unwind these things and figure out how this divine energy flows in our being and what that looks like in us, rather than the programming. So it really is relatable to each and every one of us. And it's actually very like glass shattering when you start to actually question and look at these parts of ourselves. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of us that wouldn't even go there, wouldn't even think about this type of thing. And I have delved in a little bit of it myself, just done on like a tip of the iceberg. I'm just putting my little toe in at the moment, and I would love to learn a lot more about it. So do you hold a course, you were saying? Are you developing an online course, and you're actually holding courses? Well, now are you holding courses in social, like in a group session, now that we can get together?
I'm so excited to bring people in person. What I'm going to be focusing on at the moment, I'm going to have group journeys. We've got everything in the space from ecstatic dance and body dance to sound healing to some tantra nights like the deeper sensuality work. So there's really the spectrum going on. And the next thing that I will be doing after this round with these beautiful people is actually doing training, facilitator kind of training for people who actually want to learn how to hold. I'm going to be having level 1, which is just the shamanic training, learning how to awaken the healer and how to hold that space in session with guiding people's spirit, and how the tantric elements of actually understanding this like these practices and somatic body work can actually be incorporated in our work and our life. And then I'll be doing level 2 training, which is for women who want to hold that priestess space and really want to be able to facilitate a space where people can learn these things deeper. So that's the next thing I'm focusing on, is training the healers.
Right. That sounds awesome, because I'm really interested in that type of thing. And I'm sure there's a lot of us women out there who are. So there's a lot of us sort of thinking, what am I going to do with myself? Like I'm in that phase of, I'm sort of not out there in the workforce as such, doing my own thing online, but you think, I still need to be out there with people. And Yeah, I'm in the mid phase, I guess. So it's something very interesting for a lot of women, basically, that would want to get to. Would you work mainly with women, or do you work with men as well?
Yeah, so I work with women, men, and couples. So I work with women more around embodiment and sensual embodiment. So learning how to open their own body, reconnect with their being, you know, the tantric practices of de-armoring, so that we can reconnect with all these parts of ourselves. It's really like that queen embodiment kind of space. Then I work with men around actually activating as the priestess. So giving them a transmission of the divine feminine energy, which is super empowering and healing for men to experience that within us, and that space that gets created with that. And then I work with couples, teaching them practices they can do together, you know, worship together, and how they can, create that intimacy and depth with one another.
And you find you have a big calling for all this as well? A lot of people are out there looking?
Yeah. I'm always busy. Like even tonight, I've got a beautiful couple. You know, people, what I love is people are open, because I tend to attract either people who are looking for wanting to learn the sexuality and sacred sexuality, or people wanting soul guidance. And so it's not just the sexuality work I do. I work a lot with people, the shamanic part of actually going in, cutting out cords, clearing out energy in the field, releasing programs and states of consciousness. That is super, super powerful work. And actually, sometimes people need to actually go there before they can even go and enter into the body and into like learning about their sexuality and stuff like that, because they may actually need to go in and clear some things out that are blocking them from experiencing that part of themselves.
Yes, and sometimes we don't even know what those blocks are. So you keep thinking, why am I beating my head against a brick wall when I feel like I'm doing everything right? And then, there's some block there. I don't know what. I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm sure it's like the whole world thing.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
All the time. We've all got it. We've all got a subconscious that has beliefs, programs, all that kind of stuff. And when we do that work, I think the real key, and this is where the Tantra really helps this level of work, is because you understand that masculine and feminine balance of actually to really let that program be released, to really like heal or shift out those things in our space. We actually need to drop into trusting, surrendering, and receptivity to allow the program to actually be released, and to know that what if you could release it without actually having to know what it is. You know, we have to know everything, because that the logical mind will always want to find a story for our suffering. And the key and the gift of this work is, what if we could just let it go?
Yeah. So does a person have to be open? I'm sure they have to be open in the first place to even consider looking for someone that will do this for them or facilitate this for them, and then to have the courage to contact somebody. That's what I would find might be a little bit daunting for some people. The courage, and you've got the presence that I've known you for a while now. That you've got a very inviting presence that people can feel straight away that they're comfortable with you. So that's big plus. Yeah. So there's something that it's innate in you, something that you wouldn't have learnt to do, because it's just a natural thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've always attracted people that want to tell me like their deepest, darkest secrets.
Yeah. So,
but it is to like be open to this work. A lot of people don't know where to look or what that looks like. And like I said, you know, it's not always about the sexuality work. A lot of people are drawn to me for emotional healing, emotional release, like getting okay with feeling their emotions and knowing that you know, that it's okay to express those. That's the embodiment piece. And I truly believe like who's meant to work with us will always come and we'll be drawn to them on our path. Like every healer I've ever learned from, every healer I've ever gone to, it's not been a question, you know, or like, oh, maybe it's like, boom, yes, you you embody something, or I can feel something in you that I know is going to be a medicine for me. And the breaking past the fear is us actually saying, I choose to love myself. Like if I'm scared to ask for help, it's usually where we've been wronged, or we're like, we think it's shameful to ask for help, when actually we're, you know, we're all in this together, and we all hold a medicine for each other, and we're here with each other to do this work together.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's very awesome what you're doing, and what you're saying is very interesting. Can you give a little description of what ecstatic dance is?
Ecstatic dance. Ecstatic dance is one of my favorite. Yeah, so ecstatic dance is basically, to me, it's like a form of tantric dance, right? So to get aliveness in the cells, to get to an ecstatic state, is where we basically go on a deeper meditative journey, and we bring in ceremony. We usually have cacao. We set intentions. It's a deeper space of presence, and then we drop into the body. And what we're doing is, as we're moving, we're opening the energy centers. We're breathing, we're sounding, we're moving. We're not in our mind or trying to push anything. As you can see, as I'm saying it, my body naturally wants to move, because our body actually knows how to move energy without us even thinking. And actually, in every cell is ecstaticness, is aliveness. So actually getting into these states where we let go of the mind, it's like, to me, it's really like that feminine form of yoga, where I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, but I'm creating the space to allow the freedom for the energy to shift and rise through me. And then I can express it in whatever wants to come out, through sound, through moving, through like shifting the energy. It really is a space. The way that I like to see it is, it's really where a space where our spirit and our animal, our body, get to come and play together and let go of everything else and just feel that freedom. And sometimes it'll bring up, you know, the blocks in the body, or it'll make us aware of where we're actually scared of other people judging us, or, you know, we'll feel where the restriction is. And the whole point of the ecstatic dance is to actually use the movement to move the energy and move this restriction out, so that we can open our being and allow the cells to feel the aliveness that's actually there.
Do you need a specific type of music to get you going to do that, or is it just something that's in your mind?
No, ecstaticness is like, anything can make us ecstatic. You know what I mean? You don't even need music if you want to just like move your body. Like, even as we're sitting here talking, you know, it's starting. It's a slow form of embodied movement, because I'm letting my body actually show me how it wants to naturally move and flow. And that is that part of us that actually, we're never actually just still. So if you were to actually let go and you were to actually sit and let your body do what it does, it naturally has a sway to it, because it's always moving the energy. So it's like, even as I'm doing that, I can feel that, and I don't need music to do that. But the music allows us to go on a journey. It allows the mind to kind of switch off and focus on the music. I do like to use certain like journey music, shamanic music, because they usually have things like binaural beats in there that get you in a certain frequency, and the brain waves in a certain way. But you definitely don't need it. I do see ecstatic dance as emotional release as well. So sometimes, like, I dance on a daily. Like, as soon as I get up, I put on music, and it's a shift of state. So if I'm in a funky state and I've got anger, I can put on music that actually evokes that emotion and allow my body to just move the energy through me, through dance and through expression. And then it's like my body comes back to it. If I have grief, I can put on music that evokes that and actually go into whatever's there. We can use it to actually shift our state in any way. That's like the gift of this medicine, really.
Yeah. So the best thing to do when we wake up in the morning is put on some groovy music and just move our body, to matter what we want to, how we want to feel for the day. Yeah.
Before you think, before you get your phone and start checking out Facebook and start thinking about what he's doing, what she's doing, what I need, you know, oh, I've got to do this and our to-do list. It's like, get up, put on the music, and just like let your body just wake up and just use the breath, use the sound, and just let yourself land before we like get into everything.
Yeah. Yes, because we just wake up, reach for the phone, start scrolling, or jump out of bed and get on with the day. Oh, that's a really good tip. I'll have to set my alarm to do that in the morning.
Yeah, pick some songs that, you know, are really gonna potentially get you in that mood for the day, you know. I know that I love listening to really upbeat, excited music in the morning, but then at nighttime I'm more like, yeah, baby, I want to go a little sensual and smooth, or like, you know, soft and slow, just depending on what I'm doing.
Okay, well, that's a good little tip. So you mentioned something about Temple Vibe. It's a place in Mermaid, was it, on Mermaid Beach?
Yeah.
And it's a space where, what happens there? Explain that one.
So Temple Vibes, there's a Facebook group as well, so you can see everything that's going on in the space in the Temple Vibes group, and I can send you the link or anything like that for anyone who wants to come. Basically what's happening in the space is we have some really cool events like sound healings. We've got an embodied dance journey coming up this month. There's a sacred keys journey for women that me and another beautiful priestess are doing. It's a day event for women where we go into the keys of the womb wisdom. There's breath work. We're learning these things and we're going on this journey. That's going to be a super epic day, especially for any women on the Gold Coast who may have not done this work before or want to learn more about, like, you know, tantric elements and connecting with these parts of them, but in a safe way with other women. That's going to be a really powerful workshop. And yeah, basically we're going to have little events like that. And in the Facebook group, we have interviews with other healers. We have artists come in and share their art. It's all about soul expression, conscious talks, tantra, healing arts, you know, everything that we all love and crave and the world is awakening to, that I really want to bring to the post and bring to the people.
Okay, that's called Temple Vibe. I've just got up on the screen. And do you want me to put any links up there as well, or otherwise I can put them in the comments later so people can have a look at.
Yeah, I'll send you a link so you can put them on. Yeah, it's Temple Vibes, like with an S.
Oh, S. Okay, I'll put an S up there.
Love it.
Just playing with all this technology.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of fun stuff, and that's where we'll be doing all our training for people who want to come and learn what I do in my sessions, and or want to learn new tools, or, you know, just want to learn for their lovers or for themselves, or, you know, whatever's going on. It really is the spectrum of everything on our healing journey. You know, really what embodiment means to me is, you know, being here, being in the body. That is the heart, the sex, the mind. And I want to hold a space where we can come together and unlock that magic within, you know, on whatever level that may look like.
Yeah. So that's so what you're talking about is a group for women, and it's
this is for men as well. Temple Vibes
men as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an all gender alien space.
I'm sure there's a few of them around. But the event that you was coming up soon, was it
Sacred Keys? Yeah.
Sacred Keys. So that's women's only as well, or men and women?
No, the Sacred Keys is a woman's only journey where we'll be going through the womb wisdom.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about the gates of womb wisdom, and we'll be doing a full breath work and shamanic womb journey. So it's going to be a super powerful event for women who want to reconnect more and reclaim that space and their power in their body.
So that's open to any age group, or any woman in any spectrum.
Any woman, any spectrum, anyone who's called to it, the right people will be there.
Okay, that sounds like the place to be. So I'll definitely put that up for you and I'll tag you, or you can tag me, or whatever. We can advertise that one. Is there any little meditation you want to put us through that we'll finish off, in the next 5 minutes? Is there anything you want to run us through? Anything special comes to mind?
I think there's more like a little transmission that wants to come through, because usually I have my bowl and my singing stuff, and you guys are welcome to be in the temple vibes. I'll be doing my shamanic sound clearings in there, so if anyone wants to experience that magic, definitely come into the group and you'll be able to experience that. But the one thing that, as I'm saying this, I can already feel it coming through for the beautiful women who are watching this, our ability to tap into our divine feminine energy is our ability to receive. So it's that space of noticing, as we've been talking, if anything I've said has either activated or contracted anything within our body, of like feeling resistance or feeling open, and noticing where we may hold that in the body, and acknowledging that it's like that's where your medicine is. If we feel contraction somewhere, it's like leaning into it is where you want to go. And it comes down to trusting ourselves. So whether it's working with me, whether it's working with another healer, whatever journey we're on, it's really like the true power comes in our feminine energy when we're open to receiving. So the idea that we even have to go look for something is like we can surrender that, because when you're open to receiving, the right things always come to us. Like us women, we're the egg, we're not the sperm. We're meant to be receptive. We're meant to allow things to come to us, and the right things, even if this is the thing that's come to you and you're watching this and you're feeling that, it's like trust in that feeling, trust in your womb when you feel turned on or activated or anything happening here in your heart. Like, we need to listen to our body more, because that's where the wisdom really is. And if we get stuck in the mind and we're trying to figure out how to get out of the box from here, it's never going to happen. We actually have to let go of that and actually get into here, and that's where the real magic starts to unlock. So I felt like that was something that needed to be said.
Yes, I know, particularly what's going on in the world at the moment. We're all sort of worried and concerned, and what's going to happen next. So we all need to get back into our own bodies and just feel what's going to happen next, or feel what we need to do next, and not to worry so much, because there's a divinity out there that's looking after us anyway, and we'll be safe.
What's happening right now collectively is like we are raising in vibration. This is what the awakening is. There are so many high frequencies hitting our planet right now. We knew that this was going to happen in this time. This is why our souls came here, because it's not just us. If us humans think that we're that special, it's the whole universe is shifting in its awakening, which means that we are leveling up in our vibration, and that means our state of consciousness is trying to go higher. It's trying to wake up. So what's happening in the world right now is we're going through the scale of consciousness where COVID really triggered anger, and it triggered fear. And when people are in the vibration of fear, the next level up from fear is anger. That's actually where we gain more energy and life force and consciousness. Because if we weren't to do anything about that, then we fall lower in the scale of vibration down into apathy. So what I see happening in the world right now, if we can keep divine eyes on it, is like we are actually moving up in the scale. We are awakening, and it is all going towards love. We just have to hold that state of responsiveness, but not reactiveness, as the vibration moves through us. So tools like the embodiment tools we were talking about, like using the breath, using the sound, using the movement, can help us move through these energies, these vibrations, and that in turn is shifting and helping the collective. So that's how what we can do is take responsibility and keep moving the energy through us, because we're all in this together. We're all raising in vibration.
Mm.
Mm.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Mickie. And I mean, the first time I met you, I think it's when I went to a yin yoga class with you. You were facilitating, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I try to remember what to do every now and then. I need to get back into that one. Really, really stretched out
Yeah,
my body. So,
we're gonna
yeah.
have
So,
some yin yoga in the space as well. So
are you still doing that? It's classes at Temple Vibes or
yeah, it's
anywhere?
gonna be more workshops.
Right.
I love a good journey, you know.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Okay, well, thank you very much, Mickie. So if anyone's interested in knowing what Mickie does and getting in touch with her with her beautiful work, look up MOONROSE Mickie. I'll put some information in the comments, and look up Temple Vibes as well and find out what's going on there. And get in touch with me if you want to find out a little bit more about Mickie as well. I can introduce you to her. And if you want to come on and chat on the program with us, please join us. So because say goodbye. Thank you very much, Mickie. I will catch you later. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.